where is the latest as far as Brown is concerned with the league?
Well, we're waiting to find out, Greeny, if the league is going to suspend Antonio Brown or not for all the issues that came up earlier this year regarding his off-field conduct, 2 women accusing him of inappropriate behavior toward them. The league investigating that has yet to rule. So because they have yet to rule on potential discipline, if a team were to sign Antonio Brown today, hypothetically, he would be put on the commissioner's exempt list until that investigation is complete and a decision on discipline was made. So that's a big reason why you haven't seen teams move to do that, because at this point they don't know how long he would theoretically be out, and they wouldn't be able to use him immediately anyway. The other reason is because, honestly, I mean, the stuff he's being accused of and being investigated for is stuff that some teams don't want to be associated with. So it's not as cut and dried as the Eagles need help, they should sign Antonio Brown. There's a lot of questions still to be answered about whether you want him on your team at all, and if you do, whether he would even be available to you, and if so, when.
Correct, of course. All that stuff is more important than any of the football piece. But as far as the NFL is concerned, it would seem to me there isn't a great urgency to complete their investigation if no one is trying to sign him. If a team like the Eagles were to inquire with the NFL, hey, we'd like to make a move here, would that hasten some sort of decision on the part of the National Football League?
Well, when you talk to people at the NFL, of course, they're going to say no, that their investigation is going to take a certain amount of time, and that's why the delay is. It's not a question of, oh, can we move this along so we know whether we can sign him or not. The league wants to get these kinds of investigations right. There are examples in the past of them not getting these kinds of investigations right, and we all know about those. But, yeah, I think at this point it's a matter of the league proceeding with. If a team is calling the NFL, and I'm sure teams are, I know for a fact teams are, if a team's calling the NFL and saying, what's the deal with Antonio Brown, when are we going to know something, the answer they're getting is when we're done with the investigation, and that's the best we can give you.
Do we know which teams?
I don't. Not to a reportable extent. No, I do not know that.
Fair enough. Didn't mean to put you on the spot. Dan, thank you. We'll come back to you as we go. Desmond, let me turn to you as the receiver sitting here at the table. And obviously, I should preface everything by saying if an NFL team doesn't want any part of Antonio Brown because of the accusations that are involved here, that is fully understandable and infinitely more important than football. But if someone were to be interested, as a wide receiver, could you come in with 3 games to play and learn an entirely new offense, get comfortable with a new court? Is it reasonable to think that Antonio Brown could show up in Philadelphia tomorrow and actually make a difference?
Absolutely. You know why? Because I believe, and Dan, you can attest to this, they will water down the playbook and make sure that he understands certain plays that he's comfortable with, things that are conceptual to what he's consistently run throughout his career. Plays that he knows that, okay, I'm good with these routes, outside routes, and then they will just tailor a game plan for AB. So I think it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, that's easy, right? I mean, hey, I'm really good at these 6 routes. Yeah, you go and line up there, and if it's man-to-man coverage, go win against that guy running one of those 6 routes. I would not touch AB. I've said that repetitively. Let's bring it to the Eagles, right, who obviously coming off last night have wide receiver issues.
Yeah.
I think the performance by Greg Ward and Pickens, the tight end, and Arcega-Whiteside, because they finally did it, right? I think it could be to them, to the Eagles, and to those players going, all right, they had their moment, they had their opportunity, they showed it, let's build off that rather than, they're not a Super Bowl contending football team right now, and so AB's not going to put them over the edge of being fringe Super Bowl or not.
Yeah, and you just heard Dan Graziano say teams are inquiring with the NFL, but I've said all along, to me it would be an enormous surprise if Antonio Brown plays again in the NFL this season.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports, more analysis, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+. We'll see you there.